Well, good afternoon, everyone. Eric here from Nomadic Fanatic. I hope you guys are doing well. We got a mini train going by behind me. Oh, that's awesome. Guys, welcome. I have made it to, well, I'm in Missouri now. I've been riding all day. It is a riding day. And I have left Illinois, come over here into Missouri. I know it's a bright, sunny, beautiful day, but I'm a fair weather rider. That's my only vehicle, so I'm not gonna be taking the bike out in the rain. I'm gonna be riding around when it's sunny and nice. And today here in St. Louis, something new for me, the National Museum of Transportation, a monster museum here in St. Louis. I got my ticket online, so y'all watching get to come along for free, get some ideas for when you wanna plan your trip here, and I'm gonna share it with you. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will be uploading this video with some connected internet, so be sure to check out the video description below for unlimited high-speed internet, how I upload all my videos to this channel. Let's do it. We're in, guys. Got my map. All things transportation. There's a lot to see here. And they're gonna start us off apparently all the way back in 1844. Samuel Morse sends the first telegraph message. Telegraph. 1869, the first transcontinental railroad is completed on May 10th. As we get into the 1900s here, AAA is formed. The very first state license plate is issued by Massachusetts. And the Wright brothers are flying. The Titanic sinking in 1911. Route 66 established in 1926. The first car hop opens in 1921. NASCAR is founded in 1947. 1971, Amtrak begins passenger service there. Look at this, 1870s Belafonte Railway mule car. It was called a mule car because it was physically pulled by mules. Although it's on a track being pulled, it was pulled by mules to begin with. Of course, the penny farthing high-tech bicycle. This is before chains and stuff, where if you just made the front tire a lot bigger than that tire, you'd go a lot faster when you pedal those, and then we figured out how to make that better. Look at all the beautiful woodwork on this 1929 Model A. It's a Ford Huckster. They're calling it the termite taxi because the owner was a carpenter and he converted it. There we go, a 1934 rear steer tandem bicycle. So even the passenger back there is also able to help steer with normal chains. You can see the tires are actually the same size on here. So, and are we ready for the future? Ready or not? Hopefully not in my lifetime. I do not want to be traveling the country in a pod like this, but this is a real thing, guys. This is the future, as terrifying as this might look. The Virgin Hyperloop pod. You can see the track system on here. Something almost that looks space age, like that you would see in a Disney park or something like this. The Hyperloop can connect cities in minutes, enabling radical change in how we live, work, and play. Does that mean we have to do it, though? Oh my gosh, look, it was suspended. This is already 5 years into production, by the way. This started in November 8th, 2020. XP2 made history, carrying the world's first Hyperloop passengers. Maybe we can go up here and get a better view inside. I can see how this would be really popular for some people who like transit, like buses and trains and planes and everything like that, but there's still going to be those people who are going to be a little picky and be like, no, I want my own truck with my own gasoline. You know, we can hold on as long as we can, but eventually, this is the future, guys. They're going to take our vehicles away from us, and this style of travel is not going to be, there won't be roads anymore. We'll all be flying in pods like this. Just crazy.
Meet George Jetson.
Boston and Providence Railroad passenger car. This is the world's first railroad passenger car. So you can see how it actually has wheels that go on a standard railroad track system and then is pulled by the railroad to hold passengers. A lot different than the Amtrak passenger cars we see today. So, unfortunately, on my visit today, something interesting is going on. The trolley is not operating today, and that was included in my ticket. The trolley was broken this morning here at the museum, we are told. So, maybe I should go get a mini train ticket so I can at least go around the loop on something. That cost extra. The trolley is included, but it's broken. But yeah, they're gonna run this every 20 minutes, actually. Around the property, though, there's a bunch of these white bones all over the place. And like this one says, in 2011, United States Postal Service unveiled a commemorative Oni postage stamp. So you can see all these bones across the park, and it has to do with this dog right here. Who is Oni the dog? And so he's actually a dog that traveled around with the U.S. Postal Service, going to different post offices all around the country. And they would put little pins on him from all the different places he went. Unfortunately, some of the rumors are that Oni might have gotten rabies, and he attacked and injured a young boy, and they had to put Oni down. Yeah. But okay, let's keep walking. With the trolley broken, we are walking. It's just constant zigzags. What do you call these? You get my steps in today. I didn't know I was going to walk the entire property. It's a monster property here. It's a beautiful day, though. All right, stop 2 on my map, 2 of 9, is the Lindbergh Automotive Center. All right, look at this candy apple, 1960 Dia 150, built by Andy Dia, and then later sold to musician Bobby Darin, who does Mac the Knife. That's one of my favorite karaoke songs when I'm doing karaoke stuff. So Bobby Darin purchased and drove this spaceship-looking car around and owned it. It is beautiful. Oh, the shark bites with his teeth, yeah. This is the part of museums I like, because had it not been for this place, who knows what condition this car would be in today. We would not be able to look at it and enjoy it and see it so clean, so it's awesome. How about this one? A 1901 St. Louis from the Motor Carriage Company. It's the first successful automobile business west of the Mississippi River, founded by George Preston Doris John French in 1898. They built 680 total vehicles in its St. Louis plant. A lot of automobile history takes place in St. Louis, so I do think this is a really good location. I mean, we are just at the gateway to the west. Also, the start of Route 66 is just up in Chicago, Illinois. I would stay out of Chicago right now if I were you guys. But yeah, Route 66 that brought people west. 2008 solar car. The entire roof is made of solar panels. That's crazy. It's only 300 pounds total weight. It's called the RA7, and it was manufactured by students at the Principe College to compete races across the U.S. and Australia. The three-wheeled project took second place at the 2008 American Solar Challenge, which ran 2,700 miles between Dallas and Calgary. How do you guys feel about electric cars? I don't know. I haven't had much luck. I've only driven one electric car. That was a smart car that was electric drive, and I couldn't even get across the city in it. We've actually been trying electric cars for quite some time. Here's one, and here's another. Both of these are electric cars, and I'm not gonna say that Tesla has figured it out or has mastered the electric car. I think we are still probably decades away, hopefully long after I'm gone from this earth, are we forced to drive electric cars again. That's just my opinion. I don't think it works. But look, guys, as we go back to some classic cars here, we've got some bright neon signs, the Westward Inn air conditioned, and the motel neon sign. Yeah, this is a 51 Studebaker here. There's that front end. The Studi front. And a 1937 Chevrolet Peddler produce truck for delivery. See the produce in the window there? Anybody watching my channel remember when milk was delivered to your door each day? Not refrigerated, not kept on ice, just dropped off your front porch every day? even as far back as 1920 with this Purvley milk wagon that was pulled by horses or mules. Ooh, what is this? 1912 Pierce Arrow motorcycle. Based out of Buffalo, New York, 1907 to 1912. There's a 1906 Ford Model N that you could pick up for $500 brand new. And then a 1923 Stanley Steamer, $2,700 brand new. Oh my Lanta, they've got two 1957 Chevys here. Two of them. This is something you would see just parked at the drive-in. Just beautiful. Look at that light pink. My gosh. And that turquoise, that naughty bus turquoise right there. Look at the seats. Gosh. Yep. That is awesome. What a neat time that would have been to live in, you know? I mean, I feel old. I'm only 44. But why is a car that I drove in a museum? I had three cars that looked similar to this. This is an 86 Pontiac Fiero, and I had an 87 Pontiac Fiero. Rear engine car, actually. Yeah, it's a rear engine car. So was my 88 Toyota MR2. I miss both of those cars a lot. Had I known how cool they would be today, those are the two cars I miss. My stupid Fiero, but this one's clean, and definitely my Toyota MR2 supercharged. I mean, it doesn't look like a sports car, at least to me it never really did, but the engine's back there, it's rear-wheel drive. You can see the pop-up lights, kind of like Miata has today. But yeah, Pontiac and the Toyota MR4, I think those were the first two to actually integrate pop-up lights in the 80s like that. And a 1963 Chrysler Turbine in almost mint condition, y'all. Golly. Isn't it incredible that we still have classic cars like this preserved? And look at this rear end. I mean, gosh, that is just pure style. Sexy. And now what do we have today? Just plain ordinary crap. Every car on the road looks identical to the other one. No colorful stuff like the 80s and 90s, just all grays, browns, and whites and blacks, you know? I grew up in the wrong decade. And of course, with Route 66 and driving your own cars for your vacations sparked up all the motor inns and the great places to fuel up both your car and your stomach. The Thunderbird Motel, clean and comfort. Let's see, I've got the Munger Moss, the Ozark Court, I think that one's closed, and Vernelli's Budget Rates. I mean, that's what made this country. That's what opened the roads. That's what got people out west. And now it's just, they don't want you to travel anymore. Like, they just don't. It's sad. It's sad. I think we have seen the best days of traveling in this country, and it's just going downhill, unfortunately. So I'm grateful for the 500,000 plus miles that I have put on traveling in 15 years on the road. I've had a lot of fun. So this was considered an ultra-modern motel, the Coral Court Motel, built in 1941, just 1 mile west of the St. Louis city limits. The Coral Court Motel epitomized speed, streamlining, and the ideals of highway travel. Impeccably maintained, the Coral Court Motel was popular in its very early years, with motorists making their way west on Route 66, as its location placed it at the end of the day's drive from Chicago. They have built a smaller replica of that Coral Court Motel here. I'll come back in here real quick. I'm hanging out. I got my RV with my kiddies parked over at Modified Auto over in East Alton, Illinois. And I was just talking to my buddy Sean, who's not feeling well. Otherwise, he probably would have came here with me. But this is not a reproduction. This is actually physically parts of the Coral Court Motel in St. Louis before it was tore down. The museum was actually able to get pieces the individual tiles and recreate part of it here in the museum. So that is not a reproduction. It's physically parts of the motel here. That's cool. Lots of walking, lots of outdoor and indoor stuff. This is the original Barrett Street Station. This would be number 4 on our list of 9 stops to make today. And a little programming update. I am traveling alone right now, guys. After Diana and I left Wisconsin, she has decided to go a different route and back up with me in Gulfport, Mississippi at the end of this month. She's gonna be doing her own thing. I'm gonna be doing my own thing, kind of expediting my trip back to work on the bus, actually. But just so you know, I will be traveling alone. So if you wanna see what's going on with Diana right now, go over to her channel on Rumble, Diana's Road Life. And I'm gonna be a little lonely doing some old style solo nomadic fanatic trips until we get down to the bus. Oh, here's something going on over here. Yeah, got the model train going up the helix over here. I love model trains, but obviously that's not gonna work too well with 4 cats. Even just having one going around the Christmas tree is not an option in my life unless I build a glass case around it. There's a replica of Eads Bridge here. They really did put an elephant on it just to prove that it could support the weight. They also allowed 10,000 people to walk across it. They have a Morse code station where you can test it out yourself. They have all the codes for the short presses and long presses. So let's do Eric. Eric would be, where's I? And then C is. And as you click it, you can hear it going to the other station over there. Back before fancy cell phones and GPS and even telephones. Morse code, radio Morse code. Hey, it's a good thing to know. Anything crazy ever happens in this world, I mean, what are we gonna have left that works if like a big thing knocks out all of our cell phones and GPSs and everything? I mean, you're basically gonna ham radio and Morse code. Yeah. So they got some wet paint in the area, but this neat little fence right here displays a special little language, a special little code back in the day for the hobos, the hobo codes. Today's version of this would be possibly like freecampsites.net for nomads, where you can leave tips and stuff like this. So if you see this code at a rail station, what does it mean? Well, it says man with a gun. So it's almost like it's just tipping you off and letting you know what to expect. What is this? Hobos arrested on sight. So you might want to avoid it if you see that symbol near a train station. Let's see here, don't go this way. Are there any good ones? Like, it's a good, here you go. You can camp here. So if you're at a train yard and you see a box letter U, that generally means that you can camp here. That's good to know. Stop. Okay. That looks like a tent. Wealthy man. Oh, it's like a top hat. Wealthy man. So if you play your cards right, you might be able to get some spare change. Yeah? Get out fast. Some of these, they're not, I wouldn't guess that's what they mean. Dangerous drinking water. Ooh, don't drink the water. Okay. May get money. May get money. Well, you know, you could also get money if you get a real job and... Sorry, I'll stop. Kind woman. So yeah, there you go. There's the alphabet codes of all the hobos. All right, next is Section 5, the Trainyard. So we'll take Henry Ford Boulevard up this little ramp right here. Bear with me, I'm still having gimbal problems. I don't have another backup camera right now that's any better though. It's just, I have to constantly look down at the little screen and make sure it's not doing this crap all the time. It's really annoying. It won't level. I can double click, if it happens, if I can catch it, if I double click it, sometimes. Oh no, it's not even doing it now. It used to just auto change the horizon. There we go. If it would just lock in and stay right there, I'd be happy, but Still giving me problems. There's people. There's people in these. Let's go to the front up here. Oh, this is cool. This is a really neat display. Apparently, this is the largest rail car display west of the Mississippi River here, and they laid it out almost identical to what it would actually look like. Okay, before we get on the caboose over here, looks like they may have brought a train in from San Francisco. It's a very, very colorful train here, right? My goodness. It almost looks like this would fit really well in the 80s, too. I don't know, maybe it's just a model. Oh, no, it's literally called the Rainbow Locomotive, 724 Georgia. I get it. So what they did is they painted the train colorful on this so that you can make out all the different parts. Okay, so the blue on 724 is the cab. Boy, those blues are very similar right there. The cab. The wheel drive, yellow, is going to be right there. And as you can see, the wheels are yellow. So it's for identifying it. I mean, it may have also come over from San Francisco. I don't know for sure. But it is super colorful. Yeah. All right, now they said any train that has a platform and is open, we can go into. And I hear people in there right now, so let's start with this red caboose. Hop on up here. A lot of stuff is outdoors. I'm surprised that it stays good all winter, because if you think about it, I mean, it gets really cold and really wintry. Well, that might answer your question. No, that's not a functioning furnace. That's the heater that was on board when this actually worked. A little office space there. You know what? I think this is a medical style. Doesn't it seem like it's medical? Like you'd sit down and there's your sink. I'm guessing this is a toilet. Stretcher inside. Maybe there wasn't a toilet in this particular caboose. And I wonder, it almost looks like you would walk through this while the train is moving between the two cars. I mean, not all the time, but because these grates are here, well, it's either they put them there for the tour or they were there from the start. I don't know. Here's a passenger car. It's like a cafeteria of sorts. Yep, little bench seats. This is an oil-fired heater. That's what that sign right there says. I didn't see it on the first one. Oil-fired. And this one even has bunk beds, in case it's a really long train trip and somebody wants to sleep. The window up there with a seat. Very cool. And then I'll bet there's a Morse code station right here. So you could look out that way. Okay. Let's go on to this one here. Is this an oil tanker? Maybe it was water? Stainless steel? I don't know, some kind of liquid. And then I think it's a dead end here. Yeah, they're not gonna let us go into this rusty one right there. Come on, stop being so bright. I really can't fix it, guys. I'm gonna lose the, oh, there we go. That was a serious delay. I am going to have to retire this camera. Pretty soon here, this camera is gonna be retired. Let me see what it is. It's it's a chemical tank. Well, hopefully they cleaned it up before inviting me in there. It's a chemical tank. All right. This one's a refrigeration car. It's a freight car, so probably held coal, grain, some sort of material. Yep. And a standard tank car. This is for your oil, your petroleum, whatever type of fuel that you are carrying. Now I'm really close to the full-size locomotive here, so you can see how big the wheels themselves. I'm barely taller than the wheels and everything else. It's a monster. It's pretty. Kinda. I've seen that. Whoa! The Burlington Route 1908. Looks like a frickin' bullet. It is called, also says Silver Charger on the side. Wow. All of a sudden, I really want to ride a train. That is ridiculously cool. To me, that's cooler than like the old Western style front engines. Man, that's cool. Little fun fact for you. Did you know that trains are why we have time zones? That was it. A little sign here says, well, basically, back before trains, you could only move as fast as your horses or your feet could travel. So there wasn't really a problem between St. Louis and Kansas City, you know. High noon is high noon. But because trains were moving so much faster, they had to come up with a better system for keeping time the same and understanding what time it is way over there where the sun is at a different point because trains were moving faster. So that's why time zones were utilized in the United States. And that happened at noon on November 18th, 1883. Time zones. I'll bet there was a bunch of people who are just, we don't want it, we're not ready, keep it the way it was, how dare you change things? I'll bet it was crazy back then. Or maybe people didn't bitch as much back in the old days. We are approaching the streetcar intersection here. So we'll go over these tracks, make sure there's no trains coming. I don't see any. Oh, I forgot. The streetcar is not operating today. So it would normally, I guess, be running on this track right here. That we could see, but not running today. That's going to be serviced. I'm sure tomorrow it'll be back up and running, and never again will this happen. Sometimes just crazy things happen on the one day I'm at places. It is what it is. We've all seen a streetcar. Streetcars were popular in many cities, including St. Louis. And ironically, the companies that made those streetcars, they didn't go bankrupt because they simply converted those to trains and buses and other vehicles that were very similar to the streetcar as far as how they're built. It's just the mechanics of how they move down the track were changed a little bit over the years. This is the Union Pacific Big Boy. Because of its immense size and power, this model and its 24 sister units are considered the largest successful steam locomotives ever built. Very, very powerful steam locomotives. Of course. What in the world is that? That thing looks like something out of like Star Wars. The Union Pacific rotary snowplow? Holy cow. This is the biggest train here, I think, guys. It's a snow... What in the... No. No way. Are you telling me that this blade that's twice the size of me would spin... Can you imagine being on the track when this thing comes and carves you up like a jet engine? Holy cat, that is terrifying, y'all. Absolutely terrifying. No wonder they retired it and put it here in a museum. Matter of fact, I can see a more modern snowplow train down here just for reference. But I do love that old yellow and red Union Pacific. So see, this type of snowplow, I think this is much more modern, and I would think a lot more safe than a jet turbine that cuts up everything in its path, almost like a apocalyptic style thing. So the engine would probably push this. This is it's called a wedge snowplow, and it was developed in the 1920s. So we've had it for a while. But yeah, that's a lot safer, I would think. I wonder if it would be worth it to come back another time so that I could ride that streetcar. Well, actually, I'm sure I might be able to find one in another city sometime. They still operate them in some places, so. We also have an indoor, look at the neon, Illinois Terminal Railroad Station entrance. They saved that sign. And it's got the route there. It looks like it goes from St. Louis to East St. Louis, O'Fallon, Troy, Granite City, Edwardsville, East Alton, Grafton, Springfield, Peoria, Decatur, Bloomington. So they just have so many train cars. Insane. After steam was diesel electric, meaning diesel powered, but also the diesel would feed electric generators. And I'm sure there were some people that were against those too. How can you go electric? Well, it's not really. I mean, you're really powering the train via diesel generators that just constantly provide 600 volts of DC power to run it. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you could call it an electric locomotive, but not really. Compared to a traditional style, what I consider like a Western style steam locomotive. And then right behind it, you have all the coal. And I mean, you imagine having this job back in the day, how warm it would get in here with that compartment wide open, just feeding it flame, 8 billion degrees in here. My goodness. I wouldn't make it, guys. I would not make it without air conditioning in there. I think people were just tougher back then. We're just so pampered these days that we're all just kind of pussy. But we used to be tough. We used to be real tough. The Burlington Silver Spoon has that Airstream feel, you know. And in here, I mean, I like that they have this cover here. I know this was not cheap to build this cover to keep these protected year-round out here, you know, because they're still going to get wind and snow and ice and coolness. But check it out, guys. Anybody still looking to do a unique schoolie conversion? This is the Illinois 206, the Dinky. It's a rail motor bus designed as a school bus on a rail. That is so cool. Super white power. Interesting. Let me peek in here. It is a school bus. It's a school bus. It's just on a rail. Look, they even have the wheel part over here kind of like blocked off. Like that's where the big 22.5-inch wheel would be. Railroad, Illinois Terminal Company. It's clearly been repainted, but how cool would that be? Not to drive around, just to have on the property and convert it out, and the stories and histories that you could tell, you know? Pretty stinking cool. I love how they have the headlights lit up like that too. All right, I guess that was it. That was Robert's pavilion in there with those, and the last thing to see, number 9 on my list, is a tunnel. Let's go hear about this tunnel. And just so you know, a lot of people don't make it down here because they can't figure it out. I already got lost once because there's a confusing sign that says closed, but it's not talking about the tunnel. It's talking about the railways. There is a walkway down here to the very end. And guess what? Here's the trolley that's broke down. Right there is the trolley. So we didn't ride that one today. We hit 8 out of 9 though. But if you continue down this way, we should be able to see the tunnel. It is actually the oldest and first railroad tunnel west of the Mississippi River. Now there are a lot of them, and they are operated quite frequently everywhere west of the Mississippi, but this is going to be the first one that was ever built. By the way, just as an update, this train car breakdown, it may last more than a day. They are currently repairing the lines up there that the train car goes along on that track. And I've been told that they might not finish this in a day. So if you're heading here this fall, just be ready. The streetcar may not be in operation. That was quite a big accident that they're kind of downplaying. Literally the end of the line. The tour guide told me that nobody knows that you can go down here. Or not too many people. He tries to tell people, go ahead and do it. But the railroad is going to stop right here. And that sign does say no admittance into tunnel. But this is the Barrett's Tunnel, 1851. 1851. And like I said, on the other side of this was the tunnel through, come on camera, go down, thank you, right through the mountain. Zoom in a little bit. Oh, they got a train car in there right now. You know, that's probably just to keep people from going in there. But look at the rock sides. Like I said, today we have a lot of train tunnels and vehicle tunnels. They're very effective. They're very important. So that's it, guys. I did a lot of walking today, and it's not a loop tour. So I got to walk all the way back and hit the gift store, go get my magnet, and get back on the bike, and ride about 45 minutes back to Modified Auto, East Alton, Illinois, where the kiddies are at. And I'll check back in and show you my magnet when we get back, okay? No magnets? No, how are you out of magnets? There's a magnet shortage at the Transportation Museum? You know what I think about that? Well, you need to restock the magnets. I wouldn't have came here if there was no magnets if I knew that. All right, let's ride back. All right, we're back. I broke a sweat today already. Got a shower in the Bigfoot and changed. Got the bike put back in the trailer. I'm here behind Modified Auto. And we're gonna find out what's going on tomorrow. I'm trying to think, do I need anything done to the... This might be one of those rare times where I don't need anything done on the Bigfoot right now. I am anxious to get down south and start working on the bus again, and I don't think I really need to take care of anything except just hang out with some friends, maybe go grab some Mr. Poncho's Mexican food tonight, and it's been ironically beautiful on this particular visit. So thank you, East Alton, Illinois, for some fantastic weather. Little late fall awesomeness. Hi, Gizmo. You hear those birds up there and it's driving you crazy, huh? I'm really sorry those birds taunt you like that. I just want to bite that chicken nugget, Dad. I know. It's very tempting and stuff, so. So, yeah, I'm going to tidy things up in here, feed the kitties, and then we'll see what we're up to tonight, and I'll let you know later. Well, we kind of had to do it. You know, we're here at Eastgate Plaza. We had headed over to Jill, Sean, and I went to Mr. Poncho's Mexican restaurant, one of our go-to places, just a couple stores down from Modified Auto, actually. And I had my chicken on the beach, had some big old margaritas. Jill and I, Sean had his iced tea. But yeah, it was good. It was good hanging out with friends. I'm glad I made this little detour. And like I mentioned, Diane and I will somehow meet up in Mississippi here later this month. But for right now, I want to get back and work on the bus. So I'm going to put on some miles tomorrow morning and see how far I get. Thanks for joining me, guys. This is a fun little stop, but let's get to work. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.